This is our first podcast here in Supertech, and I here welcome Tom
Thank you.
and Gary from Total Precision from Australia.
Yep.
And here I need your experience and your consideration here. And not only this time, like for example, like after 3 years, 5 years, maybe we'll fly you back and then tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Today is your first visit here in the original Supertech factory here in
That's right.
Taichung, Zhejiang. So I believe you guys know about our machine beforehand, though, right?
Yeah, so just a bit of a brief history on Total Precision. So we've been in business now for 25 years in Melbourne, Australia, and we've predominantly serviced the CNC machinery making industry like Supertech. So Gary has been in the tool making and machine making industry for 40 years. And to round out Total Precision as a complete manufacturer end-to-end of precision parts, we've been aggressively moving into the grinding market. We already have 11 milling machines. We already have 5 turning machines, all CNC. And to create that end-to-end supply chain, we really wanted to put in some CNC cylindrical grinding, OD/ID grinding. So the conversation started with Supertech about 6 months ago.
Right.
We got in touch with Supertech through a local distributor, and we really wanted a CNC cylindrical grinding machine that was accurate. It was able to do plunge OD grinding, taper OD grinding, but also high quality internal grinding. But one of the things we really wanted out of the system was we wanted a system that was easy to use. We already have nearly 20 CNC machines, and when we bring in a new ecosystem, there's a lot of upskilling involved. So we got talking to Supertech,
Right.
and you said that you're in collaboration with Anca Motion,
Yes.
for putting in their SiGrind product.
Yes.
And we actually visited Anca Motion in Melbourne, Australia, and they showed us the SiGrind product.
Right.
And within minutes, Gary was happily using the machine. So we realised that the Anca Motion SiGrind product with the Supertech grinder was a really good match for us. It's a very capable machine, the Supertech PMG60, but with the Anca Motion SiGrind, it's a very capable machine that's very easy to use, and that was really why we ended up going with Supertech. I think you mentioned yesterday, if you can use an iPad, you can use SiGrind.
Yeah, I did say that.
It's drag and drop. You add a cylinder, you add a taper,
Yes.
you add a probe point, you add a wheel size, and literally within minutes, you've got a grinding cycle that's very easy to set up. So that was the main driver for us. Was we already have a lot of FANUC systems. We have a lot of Akuma systems, so the OMC systems, and our staff know that well. But as I said, we're aggressively getting into cylindrical grinding, and we wanted a system that we could spin up quickly, so we don't have to spend months and months and months learning it.
Right.
The machine can hit the floor and we can be in production the next day, and that's what we think we've found with the Supertech and the Anca Motion SiGrind. Instead of specifically going after people who have a skill set in grinding, we can actually go after machinists and very quickly teach them to become grinders.
I follow.
We don't have to think too much.
Right.
If we can input the size of the wheel and the system actually tells us what the recommended surface speeds are for the type of grinding, and it also automatically adjusts the surface speed based on the diameters grinding as well. So once again, it makes it very, very easy for any of our machinists to pick up and use effectively.
Thank you. What's your first impression when you walk into, not the factory, but like in the front area?
Supertech looks like it's a very professional looking organisation.
Okay.
I've never been to Taiwan before.
Right.
So one of the things that Gary and I have both spoken about very fondly is that the staff at Supertech are lovely. You've been very accommodating and very helpful.
Thank you.
It felt like whenever we had questions, there was always an answer forthcoming. You were very open and honest about your products. You'd show us what you thought was really good. You'd show us areas where you're working on to make your product even better. And from a consumer of machining centres, it's always good to hear that there's other ideas on the horizon for better products in the market, because when we create a relationship with our suppliers, we want to know that new technologies are being introduced, like side grind, but also new applications are being introduced, new products are going to be coming through, because we're very loyal to our suppliers. We have a lot of certain types of machines, and we very rarely let a new supplier into our organisation. So to have Supertech included in our organisation, we really want that to be a relationship for many, many years.
No, the honor is all mine. Have you guys seen an old Supertech machine in Australia before?
We have. That was the one that Anca Motion has, the side grind product. That's the one that we actually saw first when we saw the side grind product here. I have seen that machine. I believe is a plunge type with an ID spindle that comes down.
Yes.
For us, the inclusion of the B-axis is amazing, because not only can we index between the three wheels and the probe very, very easily, but it also means that we can do different type of plunge angles and traverse grinding without actually having to change the wheel shape. So for instance, we can turn the B-axis to our grind taper degree, and we can then use the XZ traverse grinding. So we can actually grind tapers with a 1A1 wheel without having to redress all the time.
Right.
And for us, that makes it a very, very universal machine.
Thank you. And during the testing progress, I think we had little issues. How do you both feel about our problem-solving mechanics? Because like you guys seen the entire progress.
Yep.
Is everyone here in the company, including other people from other company, which is this case Bay Union, right? Yeah.
So Gary and I come from a very much a problem-solving background. So a lot of what we do in Australia is we make extremely difficult parts. So generally, parts that many other manufacturers don't want to produce, people come to us and we produce them for them. So we're used to problem solving. So when we went to the machine originally and we were checking all the tolerances of, the B-axis was 0 micron, so we're perfectly happy with that. X-axis 0 micron, perfectly happy. The flight of the Z-axis was 0 micron over about 600 millimetres, so that was perfectly happy. Squareness was perfect. There was a small issue with the run out of the headstock. But we could tell straight away that it wasn't a big issue, it was more of a setup issue. Because we could sort of see with our indicators and things where the error was coming from. And it didn't take very long for us, all of us combined, to problem solve what it was, and in the end we got the headstock down to easily less than half a micron run out. So for us, that really, the machine completely really hit the brief, because a lot of our tolerances that we'd specified were very, very tight, and we were happy to sign them all off yesterday afternoon.
I've also got to say that every one of your staff that helped us out there, not one of them argued. Like yourself, you saw it wasn't, there was a little bit of an issue, and we sorted it out. And it was really nice to have that sort of relationship, I've got to admit. Everyone was really good, calm, and we sorted it out.
So there's a saying we have in Total Precision that when we're all working together and when there's an issue, we say you've got to keep a cool tool, and that just means work together, remain calm, solve it as a group. And it was really good working with the Supertech team. I agree that when we raised a couple of minor issues, there was no finger pointing, it was just how can we fix it, or how can we make the machine better. And that positive attitude, I think, worked really well, and in the end there's an excellent machine that's very, very accurate sitting on the floor out there.
Thank you. Thank you. Right, so here we close our interview. Thank you so much.
Well, actually, I just want to say...
Yeah.
When we were doing the internal grinding,
yes,
we set the comparator up to take a measurement.
Are you recording this?
This is recording.
This is quite a funny story, actually.
So we decided to do internal grinding. Tony set up the cycle and ground the part.
Right.
Just to clean up. So
We'd left the high frequency spindle running, we'd left the OD spindle running, we had got it all into position, we had measured with a comparator. Gary walked off to get a measurement, and I accidentally turned the machine off. So then what happened, Gary?
So anyway, when I took the measurement, to make it a nominal size of 72 millimeters, we had to take 32 microns off. But the machine had to be rehomed. The B-axis had to go around the back.
The X-axis went back. The Z-axis went back. The B-axis spun around.
We've lost all our position.
Exactly.
Anyway, after homing it and bringing the B-axis round again, Tony set the machine to take 32 microns off, and something I never believed would happen, it actually took 32 microns.
Exactly 32. So the machine had been turned off, turned on, all the axes homed, the B-axis spun around. Tony had literally just gone back to his old program and said grind, and it ground exactly 32 microns off.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
You don't hear that very often.
I'm a bit of a doubting Thomas when it comes to working accurate. I always try to. I'm so careful, but I couldn't believe that. I said, "Oh well, that's okay. We might be all right." Yeah.
And then when we also checked the run out of the ID after grinding, so not only did it take exactly 32 microns off
the round, which was good.
We put a dial indicator in there, and you couldn't even see the dial flickering. Yeah. So the thing was completely and utterly round.
Yeah.
So it was round, and it took exactly 32 microns off after it being turned off.
Yeah, so we've actually, last night we walked away pretty happy.
Yeah.
At one stage, yesterday, we were a bit worried what to do about the machine. We walked away really happy.
Thank you so much.